Action Film Autopsy.
Oh, hey!
I love that theme. That said, I could watch that, and also it has some previews of what we're going to be talking about tonight on that little screen. If you want to rewind and watch again. No, let's go.
What is going on? Oh yeah, it's your boy Preston, Fat Samurai Guy, back again with another episode with Kung Fu Sifu Santa. That's right, and special guest Remaster Frank Jang. That's right, we are back again for the newest episode.
Hold on. We can't leave it at that. Remaster Master, Kung Fu Commentary King, Criterion Concierge,
Connoisseur,
and producer of the new Bruceploitation documentary, Producer Boy. Yeah, man.
And the crowd goes wild.
Every month, it's going to be a longer and longer introduction.
Well, welcome again back, everyone, to the newest episode of Action Film Autopsy. Frank, how are you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me to this, like a 6 month, a half year review of the Action Film Autopsy. So,
yeah, you're always welcome. You are always welcome. Go ahead, Rick.
I was meaning to ask Frank, were you the one who put Shout Factory in touch with me?
Yes.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, Frank and I are both back in action. We used to do. We're not doing commentaries, but we did little documentary films too. We did that for David Severin over at Severin,
and also for Shout. I also did interview for Shout. So yeah.
Yeah, and they also got me on a separate one. I think a completely separate box set of Shaw Brothers things, and it was wonderful.
Good,
nice.
And, so that's cool. So that's what's happening here. Now shall we begin, or should we say hello to everybody out there?
Hello, everybody.
We gotta say hello. Heather saying hello. What's going on? There we go. We got Jet Tiger in the house. Michael Gonzalez. That's right, and other badasses showing up. Let's go ahead and we go ahead and just jump right into it. As is tradition, every Action Film Autopsy, Rick is always ahead of me, and he's seen everything, and I have not. But it's always fun discussing, and we have Frank here who's seen some of the items, some of the projects here. But we're going to have a blast.
Both of you guys do something else for your life, except me. What I do all day long is this: I just type all day long, or I watch the screen and then type. You guys run around and do stuff. So I watch movies and write books for a living. So that's what I do. Anyway,
anywho,
kick it off.
Yeah,
let's film project.
The proper introduction, which is let's get ready to grumble.
Extraction 2, Electric Boogaloo.
There you go.
All right. I was a fan of the first one. I know it's not perfect, but I loved Sam's direction, and I just really enjoyed the action set pieces and stuff like that. I'm looking forward to the sequel. Have not got around to it yet. I'm planning on doing a review next week. But Rick, what do we got going here? Better?
It's very, very simple. Another thing is that most of this episode, except in one really major case, is been there, done that, seen that. Looks familiar somehow, and deja vu all over again. An Extraction is the same movie, but different. The one thing that I liked about it, I like Sam Hargrave.
Yeah.
It's not totally the usual John Wick 4, Fast 10 kind of video game physiology video game action, but it's close. He grounds it a little bit more. It's more G.I. Joe. It's more action and active, and it's strong, but it's still basically a superhero movie. And my feeling is that I'm anxious to see your review next week, Phat, because my attitude is if you like the first one, you'll like this one. I because of my age, I'm always looking to love stuff now, not just like it. And also because I've seen so much you know, I've had 65 years or about of watching movies. I have a higher threshold. It's just like my food intake. I want everything to be great, not just good. I want it to be
Gotcha.
amazing. I want to have a transcendent experience every time. But something like this, which is done well, which is done, I mean, but it's still what it is. He should have been dead 3,500 times during this,
Right.
but he's not. But at least at the beginning of the movie, my favorite part of this movie is that it starts with them for 15 minutes showing you how he survived the last one.
Okay. Wow.
At least they don't say, you know, he just
Yeah.
walked through like John Wick. No,
Okay.
no, he's very badly wounded. He has to go through months, if not years, of rehab and
Right.
all sorts of stuff. So that's cool. But
Okay.
then the action starts again, back to normal.
Right. Okay. I'm surprised they did that, to be honest. That whole 15
Yeah,
minutes.
that's another point I wanted to make up, which is important for another major thing we'll be talking about later this episode. If he has a physical reaction, I want characters who learn things. I want characters who learn things. It's that simple. It engages me in the story. It makes me care about them. But here, it just brought it back to normal. At no point since I've worked with, all last year, I worked with somebody who spent 30 years in the military. It has an effect on you, PTSD. And so for our hero from Extraction 2 to just walk into the action and have no psychological echo, I know now from all my research and all my work that that's just not realistic. But hey, it's a Netflix movie. It's by the guys who did Extraction 1. They gave me a crumb at the beginning, and they're going to give you a lot of badassery for the rest of it. So I can't put it down, but it's not my cup of tea.
Okay.
All
Copy
right.
that.
Copy that.
All right. Next up, we got Transformers: Rise of the Beasts.
So everybody vote. How many people of you two? How many saw it?
I've seen it. That's all.
You did see it.
I did
Okay.
see it.
All right. What
I
do you
saw it
think?
in 3D. I saw it in 3D. Yeah.
Ooh.
How'd you like it?
Nice.
Well, I'm sorry. Some of you may. So I know Rick's gonna get on my case, but some of you knew that I'm a big Michael Bay fan.
Okay.
I love drone shots, and I've always said that of the Michael Bay, the 5 Michael Bay Transformer films, the 4th and the 5th film are really the best in terms of the technical. I agree. Cinematography, technical is everything. Okay, so to me, first I was already kind of let down by Bumblebee when I saw Bumblebee. Okay, because it was a much smaller scale movie, and then this came along, and again it was it was a letdown for me, and I'll tell why. Okay, well, first, obviously the action, when it comes to the action cinematography, action choreography, you cannot compare with Michael Bay. Everything in Michael Bay is so much bigger. Bigger, more explosive. Everything's bigger, more epic.
Right.
This feels like
all the time. Yeah.
Right. So this is almost like it's almost like watching a TV movie version of a Transformer. You know what I mean? And second thing, and also the choreography wasn't very clear. Sometimes you have fights where you can't hardly tell who's fighting who, especially between Prime and the main bad guy. Okay. Now, second thing is, actually, there are 3 things I don't like about it. Okay, so the first thing, I told you the first thing. Second thing was, I didn't like the fact that the bad guys kept having the upper hand until the very last fight or the climax. It kind of frustrating because you don't have a moment early in the film where the good guy at least won, like win the fight, chase him away, whatever. Every fight in the film until the finale ended with the bad guy somehow getting beat up or trash, defeated. Okay, let's put it defeated. And the third thing is, I'm thinking I'm going to offend somebody when I said, what I'm about to say is going to offend somebody for this last thing that I don't like. But I'm sorry, the 2 leads just aren't attractive. I mean, I'm sorry. Look, I have to be honest. I don't know who they are. I don't know what their past work was, especially the Ramos guy, the Hispanic guy. But they're not Marky Mark. They're not Megan Fox. I'm sorry. I mean, all the girls in the Michael Bay film are gorgeous, right? All 3 girls, all gorgeous. Here, I think they're just too normal. They're too ordinary. They're too ordinary, and it just didn't strike me as somebody who can actually take on these bad robots. So
Were
it
the
took me out of the picture. It took me out of the picture.
Were those two characters? Did they have any character, or they were just kind of generic?
Well, that's what I was going to say. But first, I'm saying send all your letters to complaint. Frank Jang, care of I hate Hispanics.
No. I'm just saying. No. That's what I mean. No. I'm just saying like they are too ordinary. Oh man. What I'm saying is they don't have the charm or the charisma.
Gotcha.
They're not individual enough for me. Like
okay.
Right. Come and mark him like if you go back, okay, look. I've always said The Last Night was my favorite Transformer film. Okay.
Wow.
You go back to either The Last Night or even the one before Age of Extinction. You listen to every single thing that Mark Wahlberg said in those films. Every line is a reflection of his character. Here, I don't get it. I didn't see it.
You're right. No, I agree with that. And by the way, change your letters of complaint to ilovedrones.com.
I love explosion.com.
But be that as it may, no, I have to agree. This was like a TV movie, and I was very glad I saw it on my screen.
Okay.
And I was just going, I'm so happy I didn't go to a theater for this. It's still fine.
Right.
And, unlike your stuff with drones, I judge Transformer movies by how much I can tell. I was annoyed in the first couple of Transformers that when they transformed, I couldn't tell what was going on. I mean, there was so many pieces, and it was just like confusing. This was a little better with that. I also felt that this was a cheap jack. Hey, champ.
Hey, champ.
Or Blaze. I also was annoyed because it was an obvious grab by the studio to make it into a universe.
Okay, kick it off.
When the G.I. Joes show up.
Right.
Which, of course, I'm happy for my friend Larry Hama, the co-creator of that whole world for Marvel. But at the same time, and the guy who introduced me to Japanese and Chinese action cinema. But at the same time, it's kind of like when it's that obvious and everything, and it's kind of, and I also agree with you that I wanted. What did you think of the fighting?
I thought the fighting was okay. I just don't like the fact that in some cases, especially in the finale, you can't tell who's fighting who. And also, again, to me, it's a scale issue. It's a smaller scale film. And when you already tasted something big like the Michael Bay stuff, it's kind of feel like a letdown. That's all. I mean,
it's a TV dinner after.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like a TV dinner after omakase. You know what I mean?
There we go. I love that stuff.
Here you go, Rick. I need another commentary with Rick, Frank, and Bobby Samuels eating dim sum while they watch the movie.
You remembered. Good.
That was great.
Goodness.
That was great.
So Transformers, again, if you pay for it, you may not be that. Wait for it to come on streaming. But even so, it's still not great. It's fine. That's pretty much the code, except in one glaring instance on this episode. Everything's okay.
Gotcha.
Nothing's really great. Everything's okay.
Yeah. And I just want to point out two more things on this film. One, I did see it for free because I'm a cinema member and I get a free ticket. So anyway, I kind of saw it for free, which is fine.
Nice.
And I saw it in 3D, but the 3D wasn't very outstanding. 3D was just kind of mediocre.
It's still okay.
Yeah, it's still okay. Yeah. But again, just like, look, I cannot believe that girl can do what she did in this film. And also, I have to say one thing about Michelle Yeoh. I know everybody loves Michelle Yeoh. Won the Oscar. She's great in, she's great in Star Trek. She's great in Everything Everywhere All at Once. She's great in the new thing, the American thing. I mean, the Asian
American-born Chinese.
American-born Chinese. Yeah, she's fantastic in that. But I think here she was just being too Michelle Yeoh, if you know what I mean. Like,
that's what they asked her to do.
She
would not have done that unless they had asked her to do that.
To be Michelle Yeoh, to sound like Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah, right. They wanted her Michelle Yeoh. Michelle. We've seen all of Michelle's work. She's great in Yes, Madam. The only time she's ever not great is when she does things like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon 2. you know, which
That
is,
that didn't happen, Rick. I don't know what you're talking about.
I wish it did. But anyway,
All right.
But
Okay.
again, it took me out of the picture. That's all. Like when I
Let me
hear
ask.
it, that's Michelle Yeoh. It took me out of the
Right,
picture.
what
Did
would
you did
what
you
would-
like it more than Bumblebee?
Oh, that is a good question. I did like it more than Bumblebee. It is a bigger scale movie than Bumblebee, but it's still not at the Michael Bay level at all. You know, not at
now,
all.
Okay.
now Extraction 2 and Transformers on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give it?
For this one,
Yeah.
action scale 1 to 10,
Yeah, 1 to 10.
6.
There you go. Okay, that's what I figured. Extraction 7. 8 if you like badassery. All right, so now let's move on to. No, that's
All right.
You know,
Okay.
we got the drone lover, we got the badass lover.
Okay. Marvel's
Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion.
Now,
All
this
right.
is,
Here we
this is
go.
in progress. It's a 6-episode show, basically a 6-hour event. Only 2 hours have been out so far. Has anybody else besides me seen it?
I haven't seen it. No.
No.
Okay, I saw them both. The first episode annoyed me,
Okay.
but the second episode made me feel better. At least the second episode exists to explain why the first episode was annoying. But at the same time, I sort of went, well, why did you do that? Why did you? You should have not made the first episode annoying. That's a bad. You guys don't have the time for that. Can we all agree that Marvel has dropped the ball?
Yes.
They had the world by a string. They had the formula. And they sort of went, all right, we have the formula. Screw that.
Well, you talk about the movies or the TV though?
Everything.
Well, I
Everything.
would kind of disagree on Guardian of the Galaxy 3. I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, but again, that's not even Marvel anymore. That's James Gunn.
That's James Gunn. Okay.
Right.
And I didn't think it was fantastic. I thought it was very good. The ending still bothered me. The ending, they didn't tie up it. And the ending happened because they got to the end. I'm going back to Earth. Well, why are you going back to the Earth? I just am. I go see my grandfather, and everything's fine, and nothing. They rushed the ending.
Right.
That was that. But for the rest of it, now that James Gunn is out, and James Gunn, we'll be getting to James Gunn's problem very soon too. Speaking of that dropping the ball, we'll get to that very soon. But Marvel had the formula of creating audience involvement by introducing all their characters individually and building, each one building on the other, and all making them human and all making them careable. Even though they become extremely powerful, they start as recognizable humans. And then suddenly Eternals comes out, and boom, everything is effed up. They just dump huge amounts. Oh yeah, these guys have seen the last 10 years of our movies, so obviously they've gone into all the Marvel comic books and read everything, so now they're ready to go. No, that's never the case. And so now they're just dropping the ball left and right. I mean, I complained endlessly about the introduction of America Ferrara, I think that was her name, in Doctor Strange.
American Chavez.
Yeah, American Chavez, thank you. And, again, who the heck is she? I don't know who she is. I read the comics. I don't know who she is. Do they tell us anything about her? Do they give her any discernible character trait? No. And also, the other thing is, it's no longer Marvel. It's now Rick and Morty. It's all Rick and Morty. They have Rick and Morty writers writing the movies, and they're all in the quantum realm, and they're all in the multiverse. And what do I always say, guys? Can we say it in unison? When anything is possible, nothing
is interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, we'll try that again. When anything is possible,
Nothing is interesting.
So now here we have Secret Invasion, which is from a comic book, a limited series about the Skrulls, which they have introduced. They've introduced the characters. They've got Nick Fury. They have revealed early that this is a story of Nick Fury tricking everybody into thinking that he's weak and useless. And then by the end of it, he's the old Nick Fury again. They had to tell us that to get people, because apparently from the latest rumors, both pro and con, not a lot of people are watching this. And I don't blame them, but I really like it because Samuel L. Jackson is great. And all the actors on this thing are great. Olivia Colman is great. So I'm watching it just for them. And it looks like a really good, it's like Andor, in that Andor threw out all the kind of crappy Star Wars
Okay.
and did a legitimate war movie,
Okay.
spy movie. And Secret Invasion seems to be doing that too. But it doesn't have the strength. I'm going to keep watching it. I'm hoping it's great. The action is good. Let me tell you that Trian Milanov, Troy, who also did the choreography for Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves, the latest Dungeons and Dragons movie, did the action in Secret Invasion. And there's a really nice fight scene in the second episode of Secret Invasion. I mean,
Right.
it really has scrolls, these renegade scrolls. They just wade through all these humans and just treat them like garbage. I mean, it's actually in a butcher shop. And the Super Scroll starts, not Super Scroll, but the lead scroll just starts putting guys on meat hooks. And I sort of went, okay, all right. He's fighting in character. And Olivia Colman fights in character, and Nick Fury isn't fighting yet because he's still pretending to be very weak and limp and lame. So yeah, it's worth seeing. But I would recommend, it's kind of like The Wandering Earth, Frank, in that I would recommend you watch the second episode first, then watch the first episode
Really?
of Secret Invasion.
Yeah. All right.
That explains everything from Secret Invasion, so you won't be annoyed by the first episode.
Okay.
Okay. Oh yeah, by the way, for the Transformers, the choreographer, the fight guy, was Shahob Raudbari, who also worked on one of my favorite Netflix movies of the last year, The Gray Man. So, I wasn't happy with that, but I wasn't that happy with Transformers.
Keep the day job, guy.
Yeah. Well, no, you'll get work with Netflix and the rest, but it won't be exceptional action.
All
Now,
right.
speaking of exceptional action,
Boom!
Boom!
Spider-Man
Yes.
across the Spider-Voice.
Yes.
again, another thing that I don't always say, but I often say, what I love about animation is you don't have to have the actors trained for 10 years to be really good. You can just draw them really good. They're just drawn that way. But of course, and speaking of Rick and Morty, let's talk about this. We'll be getting into the Solo movie where, Miller and Lord, the guys who did the Spider-Man animations, they worked on that. They were supposed to do Solo, but they were fired. Apparently, my FJ sort of said that they were acting crazy on set, so he understood why they were fired. But even so, everything else they do is really wonderful. And they really distinguish themselves from Rick and Morty. You would think that Across the Spider-Verse would be very Rick and Morty-esque. But no, it has its own character. It has the Miller-Lord touch. And it also has, I'm happy to say, my other favorite animation of this last year was One Piece Red. If you have a chance to see One Piece Red, that is astonishing. Just amazing animation. And it's just like this movie in that they use every imaginable kind of animation, put it all in one movie.
Wow.
But it also has its own character. All these different Spider-Men aren't indistinguishable. You can distinguish everybody. That's an astonishing accomplishment. From an artistic point of view, it's just baboon.
Yeah, no, this is a great sequel. Now, before I go into my thoughts on this film,
Please.
I just want to point out the fact that I'm amazed that we have 3 films this year that have a cliffhanger ending.
Yeah.
Cliffhanger ending. First, we have Fast X. Second, we have this Spider-Man, and then we're gonna have Mission Impossible, which of course also have a cliffhanger ending. I just think it's amazing that we have 3 films with that kind of ending. So going back to Spider-Man, yeah, an amazing sequel. The animation is so much. I mean, the first one is already very good. This one is even better. It has all kind of style merged into one. You have different style anime or what have you. And the funny thing was, I completely forgot this was a 2-parter when I went in to see this. So
hold on for a second. I just have to say something to Anthony. Yes, you can wait. In fact, you're waiting.
You're
right
waiting right now.
But even so, we'll get to it.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll get to it.
Go
Thanks
ahead.
for showing up. Thanks for
Yeah.
watching, brother.
So like I said, when I went into saw the Spider-Man, because I've been so freaking busy, I have completely forgotten the fact that this film was actually the part one of a two-parter, and so I was really expecting a nice little ending at the end. And then when I when I was watching it, I was already like, how come they're spending so much time on the character, like setting up the character, with the issue with the family stuff. It's only until I saw the cliffhanger ending that I realized, oh, that's right, this is a two-parter. So now it makes sense now. It makes sense they're kind of stretching out the story, which is okay. I think had I knew and I remembered this was a two-part now, but going back to the film, great story, great characters. I mean, the action sequences are amazing. The two sequences, the one in what they call Mumbaiton, and the Mumbai version of Manhattan, and of course later on the chase on the train, amazing stuff, amazing. Because like this is why this has to be done in animation, because no way can you do this in real life, even with CG and stuff. No way. This, I mean, is a perfect comic book art movie. It's an art movie. I mean, it's an art movie. It's an art film, not just a comic book film. This is an art film. Every frame is beautiful. Okay, and then like Rick said, every character is distinguishable. And then it just kind of leads you into like, and then once you get to that twist, it's like, yeah, I didn't see that coming. I did not see that coming, which is of course, the Flash also kind of have the same kind of twist, which I also like. But this was done in a better way. This twist was done in a better way, where he went to a universe where there's no Spider-Man. It's like, wow, that is kind of cool. And then of course you have that setup, you have that great review, and then now he's like, oh god, I gotta wait another year, at least 2 years now, I think. So, but no, this is a fantastic film. It deserves all the success that it got, and I can't wait to see the last one.
Yes, you can. In fact,
you're waiting right
now.
Rick, is it
so people stop? Well, you've already learned Phat, but go ahead.
I slip sometimes. I can't help it.
Yeah, for the most part.
Is this Frank and Rick? Is this the third one? Is the final, or they might keep going?
Oh, no way. The situation I would recommend to everybody, if you don't already, there's a podcast called The Town, which has people, experts in the world of Hollywood, talking about the reality of Hollywood as it exists. And I've learned from that one of the reasons the Writers Guild strike, maybe the actors strike, and all the rest of it, and you kind of have to feel bad for everybody because nobody knows what's going to happen now. At this point, we don't know if movie theaters are going to survive. We don't know if streaming is going to survive. Nobody has the formula yet. So at this point, I understand these cliffhangers because they have to keep making something that will create interest. And they seem to, certainly the filmmakers seem to realize that the way to get people into the audience is you have to make a great movie. Because if you make just mediocre movies like Transformers and some others we're going to mention a little later, they're not coming. However, Spider-Man, and the big clue is that it makes more money the second week than it made the first week.
Yes,
that's crazy.
Spider-Man and Elementals did that.
You're right.
And so again, excellent work brings people into the theater. I mean, Hollywood always likes to pretend that it's something else that they can formulate, but it's never. Being the guy who's written the books on film history, it's always the excellent quality work that really makes it work.
That's good point, Rick. And I tell you, like, I was surprised. I normally buy tickets in advance when I want to see a movie, right? So I bought advance tickets for Indiana Jones, and I bought advance tickets for Mission Impossible. When I went in to buy the show that I wanted to see, there was no one else has bought the tickets. I was so surprised.
Wow.
Well, they're running into the same problem. Even my friend Elisa, who lives out in California, she's having a hard time. I'm having a much worse time, but she's having a hard time finding a good movie theater because they're not putting money into the movie theaters. AMC in my town in Connecticut, AMC bought Bow Tie, but because they don't know how their profit's going to be this year, they put absolutely no money. They didn't even change the sign. They just took down the Bow Tie. They didn't even put up AMC. It's just in the window on a kind of a little placard. And every single theater, the seats are worn, the place is smelly. They don't have the staff to police the yellers or the loud talkers. And I have to say, even when I went into New York to see One Piece Red at the
AMC.
at the AMC, what is it? Not IMAX. At the IMAX, they still screwed up. One of the speakers didn't work, and they kept the lights on during the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Louise.
So we all have, I would imagine, I have a big 4K surround sound television that I bought at the at the warehouse store for $300 2 years ago. So again, and also every time I went to see No Time to Die in a theater, I went to see Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves, because I wrote the Dungeons and Dragons mystery novel. And I'm trying to remember, I did one other recently with my brother. John Wick 4. And they were all not superlative experiences. So it's kind of like,
well,
anyway.
I can tell you that Regal is an exception, but I'll talk about it when we go to the.
You're in San Francisco.
The Flash. We'll talk about Regal. But
yeah, and I'm not in a city. I'm in a suburb.
Right.
So anyway, so Spider-Man is awesome. And now, speaking of Flash,
all right. So a while back, I did a trailer reaction to The Flash, and I got my boy right here. I got the Michael Keats Batman back here, and so trailers are supposed to do what they're supposed to get you excited. So the trailer for me got me excited. And at the end of it, I was like, the hype is real, right? But I was still smart. I was still like, probably should keep my expectations at a certain level. I really wanted to go see it. Didn't get a chance to. At this point, from all the stuff that I've been hearing, I'm probably going to wait till streaming.
Yeah,
but I have to ask, Rick, because I've heard 3 different things about The Flash. All right?
Yes.
One, it was a mess. 2, it was fun. 3, it was a fun mess.
No, it's not a mess.
So which one is it?
I think it's all 3 of those and more. However, I can guess why you reacted the way you did to the trailer. Why you sort of went. The reason you went is because you wanted it to be good, but you had seen it all before.
Yes.
Everything in that trailer you saw before. Again, thanks to Spider-Man. Everything in that trailer. Wow, there's 2 Batmen or more. Oh my gosh, we got the multiverse and it's another world. Yeah, we did that already. No Way Home, Spider-Man No Way Home did all of that. So it's kind of like, oh, it's cool. I love Michael Keaton. And I love, I don't love The Flash. The Flash has always been one of the softest superheroes that I grew up with. Even as a kid, when, the classic Flash, I went, okay, he runs fast. So it wasn't, it didn't go further.
Spitting fire already. Yeah. Soft.
Well, of course, they made this into not a Flash movie. They made it into a Batman movie, a multiple Batman movie, a multiple DC character movie. Right. Now you saw it, right, Frank?
I saw it. So let me give you my 2 cents. First, I want to mention Regal because Regal recently opened a new theater in San Francisco, and I went to see this at Regal in 4DX, and I had a great time in it. The 4DX was fantastic. It was perfect for this film because every time you see shots of him speeding and all that stuff, the chair moves forward. It felt great. And then with the Batwing flying on that stuff, it was perfect. It was perfect.
I want to try that one day.
Yeah, it was perfect. Because originally I bought the IMAX tickets, right? And then when I tried to go see it in 4DX, I enjoyed it so much I canceled my IMAX showing and went to see the 4DX. And I am glad I did that. So anyway, with that in mind, I was surprised that film bombed. I was really surprised. And I think I knew why it bombed. Okay, I knew. First, because of the Miller thing, right? Second, people knew, DC is going to reboot, so this film is now it doesn't matter anymore.
This is a lost leader.
Exactly, This is a lost leader. This is an Aquaman, which I'm really worried about too. Aquaman 2. It's going to be a lost leader. So why bother go seeing it? It's going to be in Max in 45 days. I'll wait till it comes on Max. So I mean, I know why it bombed. I did enjoy it. I thought it was good, and for someone like, and again, I mean, like for us old farts, it's great to see Keaton as Batman. I think I'm serious. No, I
No,
mean, I think this film
I agree.
works for people above a certain age, and those people are the one who's seen Michael Keaton Batman in the full movie theater back in 1989, which is you, and me, right?
Yep,
Okay,
yep,
so
yep.
to see him coming back, it looks great. I look, the guy is 71. He looks great. I mean,
Yeah.
once he's in the costume, it looks great. And then he's almost like this is a new Batman film, like Rick said. This is a new, almost like a new Burton Batman film because his Batman is back now. And then also, you know how much I like my comic book movie being dark, right?
Yes.
So once I realized that universe they're in has no Superman, and once I saw that they couldn't change the fate, like Supergirl has to die in this universe. Batman has to die in this universe. I love it. I thought this is great. I mean, this is not, I mean, I know people was expecting maybe some kind of a, typical, DC light, entertaining fight. No, this is dark stuff.
Really?
I know you're shaking your head, but I love it. I love that. I just love the idea that, okay, in this different universe, this is how things turn out. There's no winners. The world will get destroyed. The world will get destroyed by Zod.
Yeah.
Supergirl will die. Batman will die. No, great.
There are no winners, including this film. There was no way this film could succeed. I mean, I completely understood it, and I enjoyed it as a guy. I mean, as a guy who grew up with. I mean, I had DC Comics for 10 years before Marvel showed up in the 60s. So I love all these characters, and they had that big nostalgia parade at the end of this film. And I was sort of
bad CGI too, may I add?
Huh?
In bad CGI, may I add?
Yeah, in bad CGI. So
Frank, according to the filmmakers, that was a creative choice.
No, I know what he meant by the creative choice, but still, it looks pretty bad. That's all.
No, that's just a bad excuse.
Yeah.
Bad CGI. That was a creative choice. That's
so
what
all the things you heard, Phat,
not good enough.
True. All of them are true. It's not one or the other. They're all of them. It is a mess. It is fun. It is a fun mess, and it's other things too. But it's not one. The one thing it is not is great. The other issue that you already mentioned Ezra, but Ezra is secondary to the fact that he's playing the Flash, and the Flash, it's just like on Her Majesty's Secret Service. It's a soft center. If it was a Batman movie, it was a Supergirl movie, that would be a stronger center. The Flash is the tofu of superheroes, but he doesn't even stick. He doesn't.
Tofu.
Oh man, this is brutal.
No, it's true.
No.
And so, again, I give this a 6 or a 7.
Mm-hmm.
If you go see it, you'll probably enjoy it, especially with low expectations.
No,
But there was no way you could go to this movie without low expectations.
Yeah.
Almost everything going against it.
well, as as minor the Flash character is in this film, I have to say Miller did a great job playing the two.
Yes,
Playing
it's
Barry,
irrelevant.
the different
Two
Barry.
Barry. No, he was great. No, as an actor, as a performance. Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, it was great, especially since he was doing both parts. But it's irrelevant because the movie itself is familiar, deja vu, been there, done that, and it's still fine. But it's 7 at best.
I'm surprised you're giving it a 7. I'm surprised.
I'll give it.
It's enjoyable for me.
I
I have nothing invested in this.
Right. It's at least an 8 for me. Now again, I have to say, like, I love that opening sequence. It's like straight out of a comic book sequence. Yeah, whole sequence, the chase. That was good. I think it started off the film in a very good way. With that opening chase with Ben Affleck's Batman and all that stuff. That was fantastic. And again, like I said, maybe the fact I saw it in 4DX really enhanced the experience. Yeah, I think it was a perfect fit for this kind of film. So.
And also the little trick they do, the several little tricks they do at the end. It's kind of like I'm going. By the end of it, I just go, okay. Now you're just like we got nothing to lose.
Is that are you making a California roll, Eric?
Yes, I'm making.
Ordering sushi.
I'm making some sushi for myself. Oh, by the way, speaking of that, Mike Lambert did the choreography, who also did Eternals, I should say, Zack Snyder Justice League, and my favorite, Rise of Skywalker. So again, it's
The
not,
classics, Rick. The
yeah,
classics.
really, three of my favorite films.
All right.
So
All right. I've got the message, Rick and Frank. I've got the message. That
Look, it's
Flash
not really
is
a bad film. It's not. Look,
no,
I don't think it deserved to be a bomb. That's what that's all.
okay.
It really didn't deserve to make so less money as it should. Really.
yes,
So
it did. But at the same time, if it didn't, I wouldn't have been surprised either. But I'm not surprised that it did.
Copy
Because
that.
there's no reason to go see this. There's nothing emotionally invested in this one.
Copy that. So you guys heard it here, guys. The
They
Flash.
also didn't
The
sell-
Flash is soft, and he is the tofu of superheroes.
Oh,
And
but
also,
right.
other thing that really bothered me about this movie,
Okay.
because I'm a writer of Playfair mysteries, they don't solve the mystery in this. They leave that wide effing open. And I'm like going, yeah, you'll bring in George Clooney, but you won't tie up the loose end, the huge loose end. And it's like, F you guys.
Yeah, I for shits and giggles and for fun, last couple of days ago when I had my last live Q&A, hanging out here with everybody on the channel, I predicted this just for shits and giggles. I predicted that Blue Beetle is going to do better to make more money than the Flash. I just threw a Hail Mary, Rick. I was just like, you know what? It's a family movie. Most likely it'll come out when there's no competition. It didn't cost as much money to make than the Flash.
I don't know.
I'm hoping my issue with the preview that I saw was that everybody's acting like they're on a sitcom.
Yeah, exactly. Like when I saw that trailer, I was like, oh God, this is Miss Marvel all over again.
Yeah, they're all pretending that nothing matters.
Yeah,
that everything's a joke.
it's just like the family in Miss Marvel. Exactly. Yeah.
Let's go straight to streaming this movie.
Originally, I think it was the original idea, wasn't it?
Yeah, we'll see how. But again, Blue Beetle, and yeah, you have good reason to worry about Aquaman.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, let's keep it going. Oh,
none of those are as bad as our next one.
Oh, no.
Oh, this is gonna get
boy.
good. This is why you guys are here. Here we go.
No.
Oh
No, I'm not tickets. I'm seeing it Monday. Oh no.
Well, I've had enough time to get over my problem. And I found if we had done this a couple of days ago, I'm still going to tear out a new one because its flaw, I think you, Frank, will be able to get, especially because you have different taste than me. The drone shots are great, and all the rest of it. But no, you'll have some problems with it. It won't be. But my issue when I first saw this, I was first surprised, and then I'll be honest, I was going to amend this word, but I can't because I remember how I felt. I was enraged.
Offended?
So you look like this, Rick. You look like this.
I was enraged by what they did to him.
Oh.
Here's the deal. I love heroes. I love Sherlock Holmes. I love James Bond. I loved Indiana Jones. Because as I keep people, bad producers always going saying, because they did this to Lara Croft in the last Tomb Raider movie. Oh, the audience has to identify with the hero. So we're going to make them vulnerable and weak. And look, I don't want to identify with James Bond. I don't want to identify with Sherlock Holmes. I want to admire, respect, and want to emulate, even though I know I can't, those characters. And Indiana Jones had the perfect ending in The Last Crusade.
Yes.
He literally
walked right into the sunset.
Rode into the sunset.
Yep. And
so I figured, Crystal Skull was a pathetic aberration. But remember, there's one magic thing, and when I heard about this, I was a little concerned, and I have reason to be concerned. This movie is made by the same people who made Solo. And they did to Indiana Jones
what they did
to Solo.
Oh, no.
And when they got, and everybody said, oh, they got James Mangold, who did Logan. He's perfect for the end.
It's Ford versus Ferrari.
No, he's not. Logan is not Indiana Jones.
Right.
In this movie, unfortunately, he is. They turn Indiana Jones, my idol, into a depressed drunk. They make him vulnerable, and they make him weak. They make him stupid. They make him pathetic. They make him sad. And the plot, the ending, since then, I appreciated some of the stuff they do in the first half. They bring him back to his origins, when they de-age him and he's in World War II and they show his World War II stuff, and that's Indiana Jones, and that's great.
That's all I've heard, Rick, from everyone
Yeah.
is the first 15 minutes is the best part of the movie.
It is. The rest of the movie has some good ideas, and it has a pretty cool surprise, although we've seen that surprise too in a movie called Captain America. But by making him pathetic and wretched, and then and I have to say, you didn't like the girl in Transformers, Frank?
No.
Did you see the girl in this?
The Phoebe Waller-Bridge?
Yeah.
You mean I'm going to hate this girl?
They made her so hateable.
Oh, no.
Again, this thing is just self-sabotaging. This is I'm not going to call out KK, although I did, but after Solo and after some of the other decisions that Disney has been making, this was done during the Chapek era, and Chapek has been sabotaging everything he could get his hands on. He sabotaged Lightyear. He said, all the movies that have been coming out from Disney lately have been sabotaged. It can't be an accident. Everything was so good before Bob Iger left, and so bad when Chapek took over. And it's the same thing here. So this is just another version of Solo. This is the Indiana Jones version of Solo. They make him, it's just wretched. It's sad. By the end of the movie, you just feel terrible. And the way and some people don't mind the ending because they said, oh, he has a happy ending. Yeah, but it's not any of his doing. He's a victim throughout, except in that first 15 minutes. So it's kind of like, I'm making lemonade because they have some really cool time travel stuff and that cool surprise. But yeah, I'm not enraged anymore. I'm just really pissed and really disappointed.
Were you surprised? Okay, so of course, without spoiling anything, were you surprised that, like, I guess Lucas is completely out of this, but Spielberg is still a producer, right?
Lucas and Spielberg are still the producers.
Okay,
but they could not have done this without Harrison Ford's
approval,
collaboration.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how Harrison Ford feels about his characters. You saw what he did to Han Solo. You saw what he let them do to the young Han Solo. So yeah, he sort of said, yeah,
I'll go with it.
It makes sense that he's a wretched, pathetic asshole.
Mm-hmm.
It gives me something to act.
Right.
Because he doesn't want to. That's the great thing about Harrison Ford playing Indiana Jones. If you watch him in all the movies, he's always doing his best to do not just the blank kind of Captain America, one-dimensional character.
Mm-hmm.
But he does a great job playing the wretched guy. Show that picture again. Show the picture
with the bulging eyes.
Yeah, with the bulging eyes. Yeah, he's acting, but you can tell that's not Indiana Jones.
Right.
And almost all my friends who've seen the movie, they all say the same thing at the end. That was good. I mean, again, it's a 6 or 7 or maybe even an 8, but that's not Indy. That is not Indiana Jones.
And to be honest with you, I don't get the hate for Crystal Skull. I thought Crystal Skull was okay. I thought it was good.
Well, my problem with Crystal Skull was Mutt, number one. That's another problem with this movie, because the reason he's a depressed drunkard is because of Mutt. And my attitude is nobody in the audience likes Mutt. So to see you throw your life away because of Mutt, not pleasing us. And the other thing, well, not pleasing me, and the other thing that I had a problem with Crystal Skull was that I knew the original script. And the original script was so great, so wonderful, a perfect ending. And again, Lucas self-sabotaged and said, no, I'm not going to allow that script. Dennis Quayle, I think, did Indiana Jones 4, and everybody except Lucas. Everybody loved it except Lucas. And Lucas just said, no, I have the power. You're not doing it. So I thought they were going to take that script and do 5, but no, they did something. They have some touches, but for the most part, they sabotaged it again.
Wow. Well, Frank, you really liked Crystal, Skull. You probably will like this too.
I hope so. I'll let you guys know.
I enjoyed the first 15 minutes of Crystal Skull.
No, I'll watch it again, but again,
Yeah.
Because they try to be honorable, but they do make him into Logan, and he's not Logan.
Gotcha.
I mean, even the Crystal Skull ending, I thought was good. When they get to the
it has its fans.
Yeah.
It has its fans for sure.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not bad at all. No.
Yeah.
It's just such a disappointment. What it could have been. Before we get on to our last movie, Warrior. Has anybody seen the first episode of the 3rd season of Warrior?
I have.
What you think, Frank? Not Frank.
I have not seen it.
Well, Rick, I enjoy the show a lot more than you did anyway.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
I loved it.
There you go.
I loved it. The opening action set piece was so good. I was like, yes, Warrior's back. Yes. Felt that adrenaline rush. I was excited. And I knew things weren't going to be easy. I knew there was going to be some betrayal. We're building some more character arcs with other characters, and I don't know if you can trust that person. And the story continues, and I'm happy it's back. And I actually enjoyed the first 3 episodes. But
Brett Chan is the choreographer in that. And by the way, Mike Massa is the choreographer of Indiana Jones, and he's Harrison Ford's double.
Wow.
So perfect as the choreographer.
But Daniel Wu's not coming back, though, right?
Huh?
Daniel Wu's not coming back, right?
What, for
Warrior?
For Warrior? I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think so. But I don't know. My issue with the Warrior is the same thing that it's always been, which is Bruce Lee back in the 70s. That's what it is. So they're not going to. It's not going to grow, and it's not going to get better. They're going to stay doing the Bruce Lee from 1973. The fan ghoul dancing on the grave. But hey, if you like it, and they're doing it well, and they have a better cast this year, and they have better action this year.
Mark Dacascos is great.
Yeah, so
he's great in it so far.
More power to them.
Right.
But this next final project of the night.
Speaking of that,
yes,
the wait is over.
Bam! An Eye for an Eye, The Blind Swordsman, available right now on Hiya.
I have been ringing the death knell for Chinese action, kung fu action, Chinese action. I've been martial arts action. I've been ringing the death knell since 1997. And I've been watching all these wonderful and terrible 75-minute movies on Hiya. And one or two of them are really great. Fearless Kung Fu King, really great. Taoist Master Kylan, really great. But this movie showed up, and I'm going, okay, it's another homage to Zatoichi, the famous Japanese blind swordsman. And they did one, it's also on Hiya, they did The Swordsman, which was a Korean film that had Korean, Chinese, and Japanese swordplay in it, and it's exceptional.
What the heck is that?
Sorry. Go ahead. Keep going.
Did your building fall down? What happened?
It's just ice. That's all. Ice machine.
Yeah, but
go ahead.
The Swordsman was choreographed by Kenji Tanigaki, and it was a Korean-Japanese co-production. It was awesome. But then I saw this, Eye for an Eye. It stars, how do you pronounce it? Who was the star of New Legend of Shaolin and My Father's a Hero when he was a little kid.
He was the kid in My Father's a Hero and New Legend of Shaolin, yeah.
He also was in Ip Man Reborn, also on Hiya, and also other things. So I'm watching this saying, okay, this is going to be a Chinese homage to Zatoichi. Cool.
Yeah.
And I started watching it, and it blew my mind.
Nice.
Every single thing in this movie, it's 75 minutes. It's an hour and 15 minutes, but it is from a completely different world than all these other ones. I'm going, I cannot believe they made this. It is so good. Technically, all the Chinese movies, they've got really great sets, they've got really great costumes. This thing is written and directed by Yang Bingjia, who's a 32-year-old. That's another great thing about these made-for-streaming Chinese IQ. What do I call it? IQE
Iki
movies. That's the name of the company that puts them out.
Aichi, come on. I'm sorry, it's Aichi. That's actually
they're giving all these young people their chance to do what they want. And apparently the Chinese Film Bureau don't even check them, because I cannot see how they let them get away with the exceptional everything in this movie. This movie is surprising on every level. I don't want to oversell it, but I don't think I can. And the other thing I love, do you have any, Phat? Well, Phat's distracted. I'm sorry. Do you have any fight scenes from this? Do you have any clips? Oh yeah, they need to talk.
No, I don't have any fight clips. I just have some images.
Just go to Haya and watch this thing. The fight scenes are astonishing. There's no fight scene that's longer than 3 minutes, but there are a lot of them. And every second of those 3 minutes is thought out. Every shot is great. I dare say I've seen all the Zatoichi movies. I have the box set. I've seen stuff outside of the thing. I've seen the television parts of, huge hunks of the television series. And I have to say, in terms of how this guy fights, this is a real blind swordsman fighter. Even Zatoichi is sort of like supernatural. Everything this guy does makes sense once you realize he's blind. Even the swordsman, the Korean one, he's partially blind. This guy's totally blind. And he fights like a blind man. He is so incredibly practical, number one. And number two, he's so incredibly smart. See,
nice.
That's why you're badass and I'm smartass. And I'm wise ass. I want my characters to learn. Go back to the poster. You had the poster up. Put the poster up. You see up top there, on top of his hat, you see the guy with the chains?
Yeah.
That's a monster character. That's a guy who the villain hires to take care of the blind swordsman, because the blind swordsman is so dangerous. And the guy, he looks unbeatable in their first confrontation. It's that wonderful moment, like in the Zatoichi movies. In Zatoichi and the Fugitives, it's the first time in the Zatoichi movies that one of the villains had a gun. And so Zatoichi does not recognize the sound of a gun because he's never heard a gun before. So he gets shot, and then he has to compensate. What this guy does, again, Zatoichi does that in his movie, but this guy in this movie, after the first fight, and he very smartly disengages and runs. And then the next time they fight, 3-minute fight, every single thing our hero does is shows you that he learned. He's much smarter than you are.
Oh, that's nice.
But he's also, thank you. But he's also showing you how smart he is, because the other great thing I love about the way these fights are conceived, edited, and presented is that even if you don't realize how smart he's gotten, he shows you how smart he's gotten. He's not leaving you behind. He's taking you along. But, and another reason I've always loved martial art and kung fu movies, if I can watch them repeatedly. I still watch all the La Ka Young movies because every time I learn more kung fu in real life, I can watch the fight scene again and see more in the fight scenes. Same thing in this stuff. It's just kind of like, wow, yeah, you see what he's doing there? He's using this technique because he's blind, because he can't see where their eyes are. And also I don't think there's a moment in this entire movie. That's another thing I love about, I'm having fights with some of my kung fu friends now where they're talking about how to learn how to defend yourself. And I'm going, you learn how to defend yourself pertaining on how you're attacked. You can only really truly protect yourself extremely well if you're attacked. If you attacked, that means you're stupid. If they attack, that means they're stupid, and you can take advantage of that. And that's what this guy, because he's blind, he doesn't attack. He waits till he's attacked. Again, just everything in this movie. I mean, I've already seen it 3 times. I'm going to see it more times. And I was happy because I'm doing a project now that you guys know about that we can't reveal until 2 weeks into July or 1 week into July that allows me to keep watching it over and over and over again.
Gee,
So
I wonder what project that is.
that's something that happens supposedly, reportedly later in July.
Yeah.
So what could that possibly be? I mean, it seems familiar to something that we've done 25 times, but hey, I'm not going to say it aloud because I was told not to, and I won't.
That's the hint. This is the hint.
That's right. Hey, wait a minute. Frank, say it in Chinese.
What?
Say it in Chinese.
Say what in Chinese?
Chinese. Just don't use the name. Just don't use anything in English.
Oh, you mean for the thing?
Yeah, for the project.
聖地啊，個動漫節 There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Now you know.
Say the Flash is soft in Chinese.
點電俠冇撚用。
But yeah, from the trailer, Rick, from the trailer, I was already like, I know I'm gonna love this. I immediately changed my avatar Facebook cover art. I know.
There's one thing in that trailer.
Stay tuned next week.
That tells you it's a streaming movie.
I'll review it for you guys.
That's when he cuts the little what are those little wine jugs called? He cuts the wine jug.
Gourd?
Yeah, and what turns out to be gasoline comes out, and that looks cheap. That looks like a cheap.
Is it like the fire effect?
No, the fire effect is awesome.
Okay.
It's fire. That's another great thing about this movie, except for that thing where the liquid comes out of the gas comes out. Everything is real.
So, Rick, I have to ask you, because of this movie here, there's future. There's hope for the future.
I just pray that the Chinese Film Bureau doesn't realize that and start stopping this kind of stuff. I'm hoping they allow a sequel to this. I heard that there is a sequel.
Yes. All right.
But what happens is that once the 2 billion people in China, how many people in China at the moment, Frank, do you know? Is it 2.9, 1.9?
I've lost count.
It's something like that. Once the government hears people enjoying something, they go, well, we gotta dampen that. It's what they did to Wu Jing, for Wolf Warrior.
Right.
Wolf Warrior 2 was so successul. There is going to be
no. Wolf Warrior is so successful. They put him in both Wandering Earth 2 and the Meg 2.
Yeah. But again, they're not going to let him do anything exceptional. I mean, you'll notice in the Wandering Earth 2, his big fight scene is cut to shreds.
Right.
They never show him being individual.
Yeah.
So this guy is an incredible individual. So I just want to go, please let this continue. Please let them continue. Also, I want to see these great young directors like Yang Bing-ya keep doing really great work, and the government keep letting them do it on streaming. So yeah.
Hey, if it's awesome, we will be there and we will watch it.
It's out. It's on Hiya.
Viewers, links are in the description below of this video. Links are in the description below. Check it out.
No, I just want to point out that streaming in China does get less scrutiny than Chinese feature film that are shown in theaters, because the Chinese film in theaters, they have to go. The script has to be approved by the government. But I don't think it's the case with streaming. I think they can just make the movie.
They do hundreds a year or dozens a year. But the problem, let me do my impersonation of a Chinese citizen. Are you ready? Here's my impersonation of a Chinese citizen. You know what they're doing?
Watching behind the backs.
They're looking to see who's listening, because that's the situation.
Yeah.
So if a lot of
more in Hong Kong now, actually.
I know. Well, Hong Kong is China. China.
Hong Kong is more China than China now. Let's put it this way.
I know. So that's kind of like what happens is not only are they looking to who's listening, but they're also guaranteed that someone is. So the problem is that people have to know that they can't go outside and go, "Oh, did you see if Eye for an Eye? That's the best movie I've seen in years." You can't say it. You just can enjoy it and shut up.
Gotcha.
Don't tell the listeners that it's great.
Yep.
Meanwhile, we in America go to
Yeah.
Hideout, watch a double feature of The Swordsman and Eye for an Eye.
More for us. More for us.
And Fearless Kung Fu King.
Yeah.
Those are my 3 favorite right now.
Nice, nice. All right. Well, all of you that just arrived, we're going to do the quick recap rating, thumb rating style, quick recap of all the projects. Frank, you can join in on the ones that you did see, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up for today. But this was a blast. But here we go, really quick. Rick recap, Extraction 2. Okay. Transformers.
But you can't see my thumb.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Move it to the other side, Frank. Move it to the other side.
Like
There
this?
you go. All
Like-
right.
Use your right arm.
Yeah, use your other arm. There you go. There you
But
go.
move it towards your right. There you go.
All right,
Oh,
there you
yeah,
go.
like this.
Boom. All right, bam. That's for Transformers right there in the middle.
Yeah.
All right. Secret Agent, whatever the fuck the show's called. Okay, that's Rick's rating of it so far.
I'll give you the review next month.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Stay tuned, guys. All right, Spider-Verse. All right, 2 thumbs. Okay.
4 thumbs.
All right. The Flash.
I'll give it a thumbs up. No, I'm going to give it a thumbs up.
Okay.
I enjoyed it.
All right. And
I
a
enjoyed
little tilt for Rick. All right. And Indy.
Oh no. Indy.
I'm calling it right now. Frank's gonna like it. Frank, you're gonna like it. You're gonna
I
like
hope
it.
so. I sincerely hope so.
And last,
Me too.
bam, Eye for an Eye. Yeah, there you go.
All fingers up. All fingers up.
I'm doing it already. I don't care. I already know I'm gonna love the movie.
Can I do this? No.
Yeah.
What's up for?
Well, this was a blast. Thank you all for tuning in on this episode of Action Film Autopsy. Don't forget, check in the links below. Follow Frank. Follow the journey of badassity. Follow Rick. That's right. Check out the link for Rick's books.
For the
And y'all know what you
Spider-Man
need to do.
Get the book! Get the book! Get the book!
There you go. Y'all know what you need to do. I updated it just for you, Rick. That's right. That's right. Krypton is out. Voices from Krypton. Yeah.
Yes. Great book.
Yes. So y'all
Thick.
know what you need to do. Get the book. Get the book. And if you're new here, hey, thanks for hanging out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and all that good stuff. Stay tuned for more interviews and movie reviews next week with the old samurai guy. And we see you guys
And
on the
we'll
next
see
one.
you at a certain place in a few weeks.
In a few weeks at a certain place.
Certain place.
A place that shall not be named.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, really quick, Frank. Dune trailer thoughts. Really
Oh,
quick.
hell
No.
yeah. Oh, no. I can't wait. No.
Yes,
Awesome.
you can.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, awesome. No.
Yeah. All I got to say is wow. Wow, Frank. We got to do a review after that movie comes out. We got to do it. Yeah.
I mean, the trailer is awesome. I
There
can't
we
wait.
go. Well, we love you too, Golden. Thanks again.
Hey, Frank, you write and direct a better film than what film?
And what?
Which film? Which
Which
film is
film?
that? I don't know. He cut off there. That's
Okay.
all good.
I
But-
don't know.
Again,
Yeah.
tell us what film.
The answer is yes.
Yes.
That's the answer.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
Thanks for watching,
For
guys. See you
sure.
on the next one. Take care.
Bye.
Eye for an Eye.